community recycling day with the Port Town at the rate of $150 out of the town tax.
All in favor?
Aye. So if any citizens want to talk, they need to sign up on the list first, so that once they take the list, they're not going to let you talk. So if you want to talk, sign up on the list.
Well, sign it. You can't talk if they say something. Anyone else would like to sign it? I'll bring it to you.
I already signed up.
Can we have it when you're through?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Can I have that list, please?
May I ask you a question? Since I have to leave, I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes.
When the citizens are going to speak and they have some individual thing that they want to talk about, could they ask a particular one at that table and the rest of them keep their mouths shut and
Thank you.
and you don't know what's going on?
I think if you direct your question, I think they should answer, but that doesn't necessarily mean that another commissioner might have something to say, and so we can't. I wouldn't attempt to shut anybody down. I can't shut you down. You don't want me to shut you down, so why should I try to shut you? Are you real? It's your turn. It's your turn. All right, let's go by the list here. And Young, who's that, please? Yes, come forward. Yes, thank you very
Okay. I believe that everyone in this room, here and everyone here, wants to do what is right. I think where we have conflict is where we have difficulty communicating with each other and different ideas of what's right. But I do believe everyone here wants to do what is best for Cottage City. However, when the terms of any commissioners are doubled with no election or vote, I think you can understand how we, voters and citizens of Cottage City, feel that we have been deprived of our right to vote for our elected representatives, you, our commission. The idea of extending terms of future elected officers is a different matter and may be well and good. But as a result, as a recent Gazette article on the benefits of extending terms stated, any extensions should not affect sitting members. Instead, terms should change after the next election. So voters are clear on the length of time their selection will be in office. In addition, the law at Maryland Code Article 23A, Section 13A, requires that any initiation of a charter amendment by resolution must be, quote, passed as in the usual course of considering resolutions, end quote, in the government of the town. When you have a regularly scheduled meeting, as there was on March 13th, about which the public knows and attends, and nothing is said at that meeting about any upcoming meeting to extend terms, and then 3 days later you hold a special meeting to adopt a resolution extending terms with no notice other than a sheet of paper in the town hall, as I understand it, and I understand it was one day in advance, and that some of the commissioners didn't know about it either. I think it can be argued that this special meeting is not, quote, in the usual course of considering resolutions. It is special, as your minutes indicate, not usual. It is for these reasons that I object to Resolution 2013-01 and believe that all Cottage City citizens should have the opportunity to vote on these matters. While I don't believe anyone had any ill intent here, I do think the only fair and just thing is for the citizens to vote on any proposal to extend terms, especially where terms are doubled with little notice to the public. In short, there must be a vote on Resolution 2013-01, and you will soon be receiving a petition to this effect. Thank you.
Just as a side note, there'll always be somebody sitting, at least based on how our terms run. There'll always be somebody sitting, and so the same argument can be brought next year, because technically we have an election every year, and someone will always be sitting. This upcoming election, there's someone sitting, and there'll be 2 people who will go through election. Next year, there'll be 2 people sitting, and 3 folks will go through an election.
Okay.
So there'll always be someone.
Okay, so please allow me.
Could I just respond?
Yeah.
The way to do it, I think, would be to pass something. If this is what you want to do, you pass something. You say that the term extensions will apply to future elected officials. Only to people who are elected in the future. You can run for that office if you want. But we have the right to know how long we are electing people to serve.
Exactly.
And I think that's the principle that makes it unfair. That's why I think the Gazette, for example, indicated that this should apply only to future elected leaders.
Well, this week they wrote another article.
Well, I'm not too thrilled about the Gazette, but anyway, I do believe that the citizens should have some input on the resolution.
I hear you, I understand.
Why did you have an emergency
comment.
special meeting?
Exactly.
Well, Mr. Hall, we're going to stick to this agenda. Mr. Hall.
Oh, every time we have a question, you just missed that question.
I'm trying to address the commissioners as a 25-year commissioner of this town and lived here for 50-some years. I'd like to let you all know that this year's charter that you all made amendment on was done in 1924. So in 1924, they had the citizens, they had a board that made up these here charters for the town. Then they had the citizens vote on it. Then they came back to the commissioners and the commissioners passed it. But to add the citizens of this town, you give them notice and they have to take and vote on this here amendment. You want to make the amendment of 4 years? What you do is go by the charter. In other words, the charter was done in 24. You gave the citizens a chance to vote on it before you, at the same time you have an election. Okay, if you have an election and you've already posted it before the election, then it's okay. But you got these, like you said, you got 3, you got 2. Okay? Now, the 2, you didn't put enough notice of it for right now, for one thing. And then another thing is that the next time there's 3 votes coming in to do it, that's the time to put it out early enough for 3 votes. Then when you go back to the 2 votes again, then you can take and get the 2 votes will be automatically in there when you get to choose. Now this is, you know, y'all have been very hard on people here. You don't give them a chance to talk or anything.
Well, we're giving them a chance to talk. If you don't take up all the time, we're going to
Okay, I'm done. Time to lie.
Mr. Gibbons initiated.
Everybody on the list is going to have an opportunity to speak. And there's a limited amount of time. We're not going to stay here all night. There's a limited amount of time. I want to hear what you got to say, but we're not going to listen to one person for 30 minutes or so. You know, make your statement, please, and then have a seat so the next individual can come up. That's all I'm asking. Make your statement and let the next individual come up. That's all. That's the process. That's the process. Are you finished? Are you finished? You have more?
Are you giving me 3 minutes now? Or
You had 3 minutes when you walked up there.
So you're telling me I can't talk no more?
We can't give you all night. We can't give you all night.
You know, I've been a commissioner
town
for 25 years and I've never seen such a dog. As you all have, and you're wearing a uniform and directing traffic as a uniform of the United States government.
Listen,
And you shouldn't be wearing a government.
That's enough out of you. That's enough. Listen, are we going to do this or not? Because I can put an end to it. He's still there. Are we going to do this or not? Let's do it then. Well, calm down. Let's do these around the next time. Come up and have
Allow the citizens to make the
I don't feel that there was anything wrong with changing the terms. My problem is the way that it was done. In secret, without the citizens' approval of vote on it, something to be said. They said it was an emergency. None of what I saw on their agenda to me appeared to be an emergency. And I don't think that's right. And this commissioners standing up yelling at us as citizens, you have your opinion and we do have ours. And we do vote, don't we? That's what I disapprove of. Your disrespect of us. You're not giving us the intelligence to be able to vote on a matter that is this important. It is very, very important. And you didn't consider us important enough to vote on it. You made that decision. You have to stop.
Thank you. Thank you. 8:45. Time.
Good afternoon. My name is Yolanda Hall, and I would like to begin by saying I have not seen such hostility amongst elected officials. That is totally unprofessional. It's disrespectful to the residents, and I just needed to make that statement. I will echo the first speaker verbatim. In addition to that, I would like to ask the commissioner, the chairman, why was this meeting a special call meeting? What was the urgency?
No comment. It was something that we had been working on, and it was put on the back burner, and we decided to go forward.
When was the decision made for it to go forward when you have other commissioners that you have contact with to post a notice? If you have 5 individuals, that's a very small group for you to check with everyone's schedule to find out their availability.
Well, only one person. There was one person who wasn't there. That was Commissioner Gibbons.
So the question she's asking is, did you call me? Did you call Commissioner Robinson?
I didn't give her a personal phone, and neither did I give.
No, my
Commissioner Gold.
question is, you being the chairman, there are only 5 individuals. The nature of this emergency, if it didn't happen today, we're not talking about a leak in the roof or a flood. If you were not able to gather all of your 5 commissioners, why could this have been postponed for another time when every individual is available?
Exactly. And you know what? And that could have been an option, but that's not what we should have been.
But that's not answering the question.
It could have been an option, but that's not what we opted to do.
But why not?
We decided to move forward.
Who is we?
That's trying to railroad my man.
We decided to move forward.
But you called the meeting. I called the meeting. We didn't call you. You called the meeting.
My question to you is, why was this decided? At the time that it was decided? And what was the emergency that it could not be scheduled when all of the commissioners were available? This does not sound ethical. It sounds unprofessional, and it sounds like it was a backdoor.
So it sounds like you're actually suggesting some things, and maybe there's something on the back burner that maybe you don't want to say.
No, sir, because you haven't
tell me
answered
what
my
you
question.
say.
My question is,
I'm not trying to write it.
why was this? My question was,
Yeah, he corrected me, but
the
she
nature
told
of
me
the
about 3 minutes.
emergency. Why could this not be scheduled? Why did it have to occur on the date and time that it occurred?
Oh, and let me lay out the scenario for you then. At one point, we decided to change leadership, and there were reasons behind that. And when we did that, we decided that there were some things that we needed to do right away. We needed to get hold of our finances. There was just a number of things that we needed to do immediately to gain control of what was going on. And that was one of the things on the list.
And I have no problem with that immediately, but scheduling. We all work in.
That was one item that was
And
discussed.
you could correct me whenever 3 minutes, but be sure went over your minutes. Got me down.
Okay, but I'm not sure I got the answer because emergency for me means there is a life or death matter, and it can be scheduled, and I don't hear that. My second point is in terms of the Hamlet Park townhomes. I used to live here. I moved away and I moved back. That has been a battle for years, long before any one of you, except Ms. Angola, was on the commission. So for you to bring up the contract that's been signed for 10 years, I'm baffled. I don't know why.
Let's flip it then. Was that put on a referendum? Did the town get to vote on whether they were gonna spend those extra funds?
Wasn't it approved by the commissioners?
Well,
You cannot come and overturn something because
Well, first of all,
something to do.
I want to chime in on that. But first of all, when we did it at a public town meeting, much like this.
Yes.
If you want to then.
And I'm sure you have your attorneys that you consult with. You cannot just arbitrarily decide you're going to disregard or. Yeah, you can say something when I'm finished.
Yes. I just wanted to say we consulted our attorney. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
But you cannot arbitrarily just cancel the contract or put, and then you mentioned a few items on this agenda as the chairperson. You haven't reviewed this agenda beforehand. Because some of the things are surprising to you as to.
I wrote most of it, and of course this is kind of like a group thing also. I mean,
But that's why you have work sessions. That's why you have work sessions.
Okay,
Prior to bringing it to the public.
All right, if there's more, can you quickly give it to us?
No, just those 2 things. And I think that when we start doing things behind doors that affect the citizens, it makes everyone on the board questionable.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I would like to
me, we can vote, you are bully for one thing.
Thank you.
You've been here all this long because y'all not really, okay, because you came in the meeting, you never gave us a chance to say anything. What you say, go.
Thank you.
And you will never feel his thing, because he listened to us. He came in our community, he was there. We see them when it's time to vote, and we want them gone. The only reason why y'all extended that, because you know we won't gonna vote you back.
Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners. Good evening, everybody. I got a couple of things to say. One of them is thank you very much, Commissioners, for giving us $2,000 to AFA and the War of 1812. Also, on May 5th, there's going to be a gathering over at the Boswick House. And we're going to have festivities over there. The spring festivities is starting at that particular point. And we are going to be giving some tours on the first floor of Boswick. First time the house is going to be open for the public to come in and take a look and see what it was like in that time. On other matters, what can I say? Everybody said it already, so I appreciate it, and thank you very much for hearing me out.
Excuse me, is that Boston, is that a free tour for the citizens?
It's a free tour. We're having festivities over there. We're having our spring festival, which is going to be open. We're going to have vendors over there, and 1812 games, and the Piscataqua Indians are going to be out there doing their thing and stuff.
What's the date again?
It's on the 5th of May. It's Sunday, and it's from, I believe it's from 1 o'clock until 5. So I hope everybody comes out. And please remember to vote in May on the 7th.
Thank you.
May 6th.
Thank you. Michelle Folks. Michelle Folks. Mike Folks.
Hi everybody, I'm Michael Folks. I'm a troublemaker, lives over on 3723 Dodge Terrace. I found out about this special election. Also downloaded the copy of the Gazette online, and I questioned as to why it was an emergency meeting. What was the emergency?
Again, we had just had a change of leadership, and there were things to get in order.
But you just made a comment to us a little while ago that it was something that was on the back burner.
And it was. It was an item that had...
And then that should have been discussed at a town meeting that you were thinking about.
Those...
Instead, you decided on your own, without our input. We elect, according to the old town charter, our commissioners for 2 years. And the reason being is for 2 years, after 2 years, your ideas may get old and stagnant. We may need fresh blood. Thank you.
Mr. Bush.
But I can guarantee you that this town will never forget what you guys did. Never.
Not me.
We will not trust you. You've decided to empower yourself, not us.
Other meetings, and
They were not.
that's right.
I have all of the minutes, and and I will post them on my website, cottagecitynews.com,
Please do.
and you can go to and see it yourself.
Exactly.
I've reviewed this, I researched this. There was a discussion amongst the commissioners about the issue, and it was supposed to be gone through. There was a bunch of different, do we do it, everybody run at the same time? Is it 3 years, is it 4 years? You know, and so I do agree that there should be extension of terms, but the way they did it was wrong. Because if you had done this several months ago, then the people that are running now should be running for 3 years. You would know it in advance, it would be, you know, everyone would know it. And then those people that are running next year would, I'm sorry? Then the people who are running next year could only continue to have to run for 2 years. And then everybody would be on the same cycle. Everybody would be on, would come to run at the exact same time. But instead of them having an election next year, you know, for a 2-year term, they says, no, we don't want to run next year. We just want to give ourselves another 2 years, you know, so, and so that they'll all be on 4 years. It wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary.
It was illegal.
You could have been a part of the process. So.
Why didn't you speak?
Why he wasn't?
Because he didn't show up. That's
They
why.
had it in
You
writing.
didn't talk.
You're still talking.
Yeah.
There was, you didn't talk. I didn't send you that.
I got cut off. 4 years may be a good idea. I don't know. But it needs to be done the correct way.
Illegal.
Our decision,
Yes.
not yours. One other thing, Mr. Stiles, your days are numbered. May
Thank you.
He's not up for re-election, and
He's gone
Me, that's me, baby. Don't put out the last name.
Yeah, that's got some chocolate. So.
It's 8:58. Commissioners, citizens, employees, make this guy a buddy, Greg and Anthony. I am disgusted, beyond disgusted, because this is not you. This is for the citizens of Cottage City. Because if it wasn't for us, you would not be sitting right down there.
Thank you.
And one of the speakers was saying, you're a bully, you beyond bully. And you got a nerve from the military thing on you right now? You disgust me right now. I, not saying personally, but on a professional level, how in the world can you sit there with your dark glasses, can't show your eyes, and all these people right here?
Because I can't see them.
Okay, no problem. Okay, let's put them on and off. Okay, no problem, no problem. My thing is, this, been here since 1979. So I've been here long enough when Mr. Hall and all them was around here. And, you know, to see this, it's like watching a soap opera on TV. These people, or you guys are up here, not y'all. And I'm not naming no names, and not because I'm not like that, but that man right there, I have love to speak. Not because I know him, but he does. Physically. Not because I know the man. He's my mentor. That man has done more, and he's not getting paid for it. And this man done more work and walk around. I'll walk with him, and I know. And for you to sit here and debate like little kids, are you serious?
That's right.
These people are the city of Cottage City, not y'all. And I'm done talking.
Go ahead, baby.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's so nice to be on this side. I would like to point out that Commissioner Gibbons did put forth an opportunity to rescind the charter amendment that brought all of us here tonight. And I would like to point out that there were 4 commissioners who did not second that motion. And that's why it failed. So I want you all to be witness to the 4 that did not option to second that motion. So let that stay.
I wasn't here.
Just now.
of you, have seats that are up for election this May, but we are stuck with the other 3 for another year at a minimum. And so I would like to remind those 3 of you what your campaign promises were. And the first one was that you were going to issue a community survey within the first month of being in office. Mr. Mosley stood here as the grant writer and said, I need to have public opinion for where I should go with my direction as to what projects the town most needs. How is he going to get that public opinion? What access are you giving them to ask him questions if you shut down the questions when they're asked?
That's right.
The second promise was a regular newsletter. Where is it? At your very first meeting when you were appointed, you said that you would not take any votes but at regular town hall meetings. What happened?
I said my vote couldn't be bought.
Is it?
What?
What does that mean?
Another of your campaign promises was civility. I think we've all been witness to the civility that you offer. And lastly, I'd like to point out your mistreatment of staff. You all do not run this town.
Thank you.
It is the staff that holds it together. And you all are bleeding staff. You had a police chief that resigned in June. You did not replace him with this good gentleman until November. 6 months this town was without a chief. Mr. Mosley has submitted his resignation. He is also leaving. You have no option for how those projects are going to be carried on.
Elaine, let them know how much money Mr. Mosley has brought to the town of South City.
And we've got to speak.
When you come, you can see. But yes, that he, as a grant writer, has been enormously effective in bringing projects to the town. And I will close with those reminders. And I want you four to be accountable for what you have accomplished in this year, because I don't see anything you have to show for it.
Can I say something to you, Mr. Chesney, please? We voted for a chief, okay? The chief, we got him. But it took Mr. Giffens 3 months to drag out the paperwork for that man to be hired and get the background checks, okay? I went and told the chief, go to Edmonton to get the background check done. I told Sergeant Young, go over there and do it. Behind Mr. Gibbons' back. That's the problem. And that's the kind of
Go behind another commissioner's back.
Okay, I'd like to speak since I've been accused.
Now the 3 months, they bring up on board. And that is the chief.
Okay, I like to speak because I've been accused of something that they don't understand the process. And the chief is here. I've been a cop for over 10 years, okay? When you're hiring a chief of police, you know what? You know what it takes to hire a cop? A proper background process takes a minimum 2 months, all the way up to 8 months. It depends on what it is they have to do involved in that. We brought on, we elected to hire Mr. Patton as our chief of police. Although you should know, Commissioner Stiles said no. He did not agree with hiring of Mr. Patton. And Commissioner Angolia, when it was time to approve his contract, when we sat up here, she also said no, along with Mr. Stiles. She at that time abstained. It's in the minutes. It's in the minutes. Please go to my website. I didn't make the minutes. They made them up, and they made them. I'm talking.
How much do you pay?
You didn't let him finish. You let you talk.
I'm speaking. The process is that, Sergeant, I got a number. You have to have a number of applicants, a pool of applicants to apply. You don't do that And you don't do that in 2 weeks. It takes well over a month to get proper applicants to apply. Okay? Once they apply, then you have to go through those applicants that you had. And I not only did that, I didn't do that by myself. I worked with the chief of Bladensburg. I've worked with police officers, executive staff in the Metropolitan Police Department, which I came from, to be able to hire an effective, someone who's going to really carry out our public service and community policing role. When we came here, we brought him on. We did agree to hire him. Chief himself would tell you that he asked that, can you not bring me, I'm not trying to come on before January 1st. That's a personal decision he made, and that's fine. That's fine. When we began his background, we sent his background, not you, sent his background to Evanston.